All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis coach and your personal guide. So let's maybe shift gears on this pod, especially if you've been a regular viewer, listener, or even a watcher. You know that I a lot of times I talk about community. A lot of times I talk about all the ups and the downs of what it is to be a healer coach, somebody who's on this journey of healing and coaching. And there's so much of work that goes into it. And for a lot of us in the initial phases, there's very little that comes out. There's very little that we have to show for it, unless, of course, you happen to be that aligned soul who, um, on the surface, it looks like, oh, you just got started and you've had all these successes. But for the majority of us, there's a lot of work that goes in. And again, obviously, depending on when you meet your healer coach, you will notice that there's a lot of alignment. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of natural abilities that just kind of show up, and it looks like as if everything is flawless and everything is just happening naturally. So as I was getting ready for today's pod, a thought kind of struck me that a lot of times these pods are designed, of course. In fact, I should say, let me put it like this. I started this journey in all earnestness way back in 2019. Till then, of course, I had made several attempts over the years. A lot of times it was before its time, meaning it was before we had the technology. I'm talking about from the days of Skype. For those of you who've been around long enough, you know that there was a time when you made digital calls, or did digital video calls rather, using Skype. And then, of course, 2019, 2020 rolled around, and COVID happened. And then, Zoom, like even right now, I'm using Zoom to record this pod. Um, it sort of like changed the way that we do things. But in all of these years, initially, I did a lot of mind-based work, meaning whatever I was told to do, I followed it, whether it was templates or what have you. But very soon I realized that there was this sense of inauthenticity, or it just wasn't, I didn't feel like myself when I was doing and creating these pods. And then, with over the years, with many and with several experiments, I eventually kind of landed on this format where now I've been doing this for closer to uh, where we're now already in November. So it's literally been 2 years since I started doing this consistently. And today I'm at that point where we are kind of building more and more of these entities. So there is the eye hypnosis coaching journeys, where I interview people on the pod, people who are healers and coaches, and people who are on this journey, with the intention of bringing their stories to you so that it can inspire you on your journey, whether you are someone who has just begun this journey of being a healer coach, or maybe you're still at that point where you're just mainly focusing on your own spiritual growth or your own healing. So, like this, as I said, my intention has always been to keep these pods natural, to keep these pods real. And today, for a change, I also realized that, being a Saturday evening, um, I had kind of started to wind down and getting ready for bed. And usually I may, make some adjustments, and, whether it is, washing my face just before the pod, or wearing uh, my favorite black t-shirts. Um, but today, for a change, I just, as I was kind of thinking about uh, a lot of these themes of being real in the work that we do, for a moment, I was thinking, should I change out of this and wear that t-shirt and then change back into this, or should I just show up like this? And the reason why, we're also talking today about the power of truth is that um, a lot of times in this work that we do, there is sometimes the temptation, there is sometimes the tendency for us to get sucked into our own thoughts, sucked into um, you know things that we believe that other people are thinking. And so, through all my conversations that I've been having with my clients, with my students, my friends, right through this week and even beyond, this is something that I keep hearing as a recurring theme. That it is so easy to get dragged into other people's thoughts, and in a way, it's even harder to stay firm and true to our own selves. But something that I discovered, especially last year, and I really, it took me a while to get there. But last year, when I kind of connected into this idea that it's like saying there is the God in me, and so the more I'm willing to listen to that God in me, um, it, he, they, whoever you believe is the God in you, um, you will get your instructions. You will get that. Um, those you will hear those nudges or feel those nudges that will lead you towards what you're meant to do. And having said that, of course there will be times where maybe you've gotten so sucked into your own thinking that you might not have um, it's like saying you may have momentarily lost the ability to listen or to sense and feel those nudges. I've been there. I've been there many, many times over many, many years. But one thing I will tell you is that that is part of the process. And like a friend of mine told me just a couple of days ago, that as you continue on this work, the the gap between falling and rising starts to shrink, which means that as you continue to rise, you continue to rise. And even if you do fall, you will, just as quickly rise up again. And the more we are willing to, listen to that inner voice, the more we're willing to hear and sense and feel those um, those nudges, those messages that we're receiving, then truly we are not doing this anymore for ourselves. Um, and I say this every morning that my prayer is that may I continue to be the vessel, and whatever your message is, may it flow through me to others and to people in their lives. And this sort of, if you ask me, this is one way to inoculate against whatever maybe in your environment. So um, before I wrap, of course, a big thank you to all my students, all my clients, all my friends who are, especially friends who are on this journey along with me, because it isn't an easy journey. But I can tell you this, after 2 decades, um, the fact that you see a smile on my face most of the time is because, um, it's like, why not smile? You know, because anyway, eventually we're going to come back to this and smile. So, as someone once said, my guru once said, it's like, why, why follow that principle of someday I will look back on this, or someday we will look back on this and laugh, or someday we'll look back on this and smile. Why not start now? So, a big thank you to each of you for being a mirror in my life, and a big thank you to remind and for reminding me that we're all meant here to be doing something that is our purpose, which we may or may not know, but our purpose will find us. It's not about us going out and finding our purpose. Our purpose will find us. Our only, honestly, if you ask me, our only um, job, if you want to call it that, our only task for the day is to just show up. So, with that, of course, um, having said all of that, remember to live with purpose. Just a reminder, if there's any way in which I can help you, please do reach out and let me know. Having said all of that, of course, one last time, I'll remind you, these are daily pods, so I will be back tomorrow. And, if you are somebody who's a healer coach, you're on this journey, and maybe right now you don't have a community that you belong to, or you are on that lookout to be in a place where you feel seen, where you feel connected, please do come and join us, because two ways of doing this: come and join us and see if this is for you, or just come be part of the community and partake of all the different activities that we do. We do our live sessions on Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And then, of course, we have many, many programs that we run through the year. A lot of them are live. So look forward to seeing you there. Having said all of that, of course, remember to live with purpose. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.